Professor Chairperson, the Honorable Bono Regional Minister, Chairman and members of the University of Energy and Natural Resources Council, Vice Chancellor of the University of Energy and Natural Resources, members of Parliament, Vice Chancellor of the George Grant University of Mines and Energy, Chair and members of the Minerals Commission Board, Chief Executive Officers, Bono Regional Chairman of the ruling New Patriotic Party, principals, deans, directors, heads of departments, and faculty members of the University of Energy and Natural Resources and other sister universities, members of the civil society organization, and particularly, I recognize one of his passionate advocates, my good friend, Mr. Ken Ashigbe, our revered chiefs, respected Ajako Nimu, small-scale miners, members of the security agencies, students, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I want to begin by thanking the University of Energy and Natural Resources, and particularly the School of Mines and Built Environment, for instituting this transformational dialogue on small-scale mining, which is in its second year, and for the invitation to deliver the keynote address at this year's edition. Apart from it being in accord with the university's mission of promoting the development of human resources and skills to solve energy and natural resources challenge, this dialogue creates a unique platform to undertake in-depth discussions on one of the most pressing issues, not only in our country, but across the globe, the sustainable exploitation of natural resources. In recent years, the world's resources have come under severe stress due to rapid population growth and urbanization, increasing agricultural production, and incipient demand for raw materials to meet the needs of our modern-day sophisticated lifestyles, and climate change. The demand for raw materials globally is said to have doubled in the last 20 years. This increasing demand for resources is also contributing to the climate crisis, thereby worsening the pressures on these resources, causing a form of vicious cycle between climate change and resources. Governments across the world are therefore taking measures to address these emerging challenges and improve the sustainability of land and the resources they provide. Mr. Chairman, as most of you may be aware, just last week, in partnership with the Graphic Communication Group Limited, we held a 2-day dialogue which the President of the Republic graciously opened on harnessing our natural resources responsibly for sustainable collective good, where we focused on the broader issue of the exploitation, management, and utilization of our natural resources. Today and tomorrow, through the instrumentality of the University of Energy and Natural Resources, under the able leadership of its Vice Chancellor, Professor Elvis Asare Bediako, we zero in on the vast issue of small-scale mining. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme chosen for this dialogue, quotes, sustaining environmental security and human rights in small-scale mining operations in Ghana, couldn't have been more apt. Inherent in this theme is a recognition of the importance of small-scale mining, but also its attendant consequences on our environment and the fundamental human rights of those affected by this sector. The question, ladies and gentlemen, to mine or not to mine, has been a historical one among philosophers, environmentalists, mineralogists, metallurgists, and other scholars. In his book, De Re Metallica, published posthumously in 1556, the German scholar and metallurgist Georgius Agricola waded into this debate, addressing some of the philosophical arguments against mining at the time, such as the intrinsic worthlessness of gold and silver, the dangers mining posed to miners, and the impact of mining on the environment. For most environmentalists, mining is just a distraction which must be stopped altogether. The former United States Secretary for Interior and Representative for Arizona, Stewart Lee Odell, mostly referred to as, quote, advocate for planet Earth, end quote. For example, is noted to have remarked that, and I quote, mining is like a search and destroy mission, end quote. Indeed, few years after the continent's largest mining investment conference, quote, the investing in African mining in Durban, end quote, began, a group of environmentalists launched a parallel conference that, quote, the alternative mining in Durban, end quote, to discuss alternatives to mining. On the other hand, many industrialists support the miners' creed that says, and I quote, if you cannot grow it, you have to mine it, end quote. Adherents of this school of thought believe that the earth provides us with so many raw materials that must necessarily be mined for development. Professor Chairman, while this age-old debate will still continue, even after my generation, what is not in doubt is that the exploitation of our mineral resources and the protection of our natural environment, as well as the protection of human rights, are not mutually exclusive, but can peaceably coexist. The question, therefore, to my mind, respectfully, should not be whether to mine or not to mine, but how to mine sustainably and responsibly in a way that protects the natural environment and rights of persons affected by mining. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, mining continues to be the bulwark of our national economy. But for many years, small-scale mining remained illegal until it was formalized in 1989 through 3 sets of laws, namely the Mercury Law, PNDC Law 217, the Small-Scale Gold Mining Law, PNDC Law 218, and the Precious Minerals Marketing Corporation Law, PNDC Law 219. Since its formalization, small-scale mining has increasingly been contributing to our national economy, reaching in excess of 40% in 2018. Last year, for example, the small-scale mining sector produced a total of 712,405 ounces of gold, bringing in almost 1.2 billion United States dollars in export receipts alone. Today, all diamonds produced in our country are from small-scale mining, which in 2012 amounted to 82,251.99 carats and generated some 3.9 million US dollars in revenue. Ladies and gentlemen, apart from their contribution to our gold and diamond output, the small-scale mining sector is a source of employment for thousands of our people and support the lives and livelihoods of millions of our citizens. Unfortunately, the increasing illegalities associated with this sector and their effect on the environment has sadly resulted in small-scale mining being associated with environmental destruction. Professor Chairman, small-scale mining undoubtedly can and must be done responsibly and sustainably. Our forebears mined for centuries using simple methods such as panning and dredging with hammers, chisels, and digging holes before the introduction of foreign tools and machinery for large-scale mining in the mid to late 19th century. Indeed, the renowned mining historian, Professor Raymond Dumont, reports that some 40,000 ounces of gold was exported annually from the then Gold Coast between 1471 and 1750, all obtained from artisanal mining using simple tools. But mining posed very minimal or no threat to the environment and river bodies at the time. I'm not oblivious, ladies and gentlemen, of the fact that surface mining, which was mined at the time, is largely depleted and that mining today requires some substantial amount of earth moving before reaching the mineral. But that is not a justification for degrading our lands, forests, and environment. Our efforts, which are necessary to clamp down on Galamsey, have sometimes been interpreted to mean that the government of President Akufo-Addo is against small-scale mining. The contrary is rather the case. The commitment of President Akufo-Addo to promoting responsible small-scale mining is demonstrated in the reduction of withholding tax on unprocessed gold by small-scale miners, which was introduced in 2015 from 3% to 1.5%. This has led to over 600% increment in gold exports from the small-scale mining sector since the reduction. Professor Chairman, apart from the greedy and unscrupulous nation wreckers who destroy our environment due to their personal interests, the drivers of the illegalities in the small-scale mining sector include unemployment, lack of blocked-out areas for small-scale mining, challenges with securing licenses and other regulatory permits, and lack of law enforcement. We are therefore implementing policies and measures aimed at addressing these drivers. Under the National Alternative Employment and Livelihood Program, which was launched by President Akufo-Addo in 2021, for example, we are providing alternative sources of income and livelihood to persons engaged in mining. This scheme employs several youths in the production of seedlings and reclamation of degraded mine lands. Currently, reclamation is ongoing in over 1,000 hectares of degraded lands in Ashanti, Eastern, and Western North regions of our country. The apprenticeship, skills training, and entrepreneurship model of the program is expected to be rolled out later this year and will provide training for some 5,000 youth in agriculture, technical, vocational, industrial, and mining skills. To address the issues of blocked-out areas for small-scale mining, we are resourcing the Ghana Geological Survey Authority to undertake more geological investigations and block out more areas for small-scale mining. While this is ongoing, we continue to engage large-scale mining companies to release portions of their concessions for small-scale mining. And to ensure, ladies and gentlemen, that small-scale mining is done sustainably and responsibly, we are promoting the community mining scheme through the strict enforcement of the guidelines in the small scale and community mining operational manual. These schemes are supported by mercury-free gold catches aimed at eliminating the use of mercury in the small-scale mining sector in accordance with our commitment under the Minamata Convention. Fortunately, the Minerals Commission has made licensing applications easier by moving them online so that you can apply for a license 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and from the comfort of your home or wherever you may be. With the support of the World Bank, we are also implementing the Ghana Landscape Restoration and Small-Scale Mining Projects to, among others, strengthen integrated natural resources management, promote sustainable small-scale mining practices, and restore degraded mine lands. For those who have vowed to ignore all these measures and continue with the illegalities, we have strengthened the law enforcement regime by increasing the punishment for persons convicted for engaging in illegal mining, while Operation Hall 2 continue to support our enforcement measures and also continue to deploy the decommissioning of equipment used for illegal mining. Today, on the instructions of the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice, all prosecutions involving illegal mining activities are undertaken by the Office of the Attorney General. As at the beginning of this month, there were 119 cases involving some 727 accused persons pending before the courts for various offenses relating to illegal mining, mainly in Eastern, Western, and Ashanti regions. This excludes the 187 people convicted in Eastern region last year and sentenced to various terms of imprisonment. These measures have obviously yielded some results, but we cannot be content. We cannot rest while the illegalities persist. We must continue to engage all stakeholders in this sector to come to grips with this age-old canker. This is why I applaud the University of Energy and Natural Resources for instituting this transformational dialogue. Platforms like this, which bring together various stakeholders, are necessary for us to pool our efforts together in a common direction. Ladies and gentlemen, it was in that spirit that on the instructions of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, we held the national and regional dialogues on small-scale mining. It was in that same spirit that last week we partnered with the Graphic Communications Group Limited to organize the Natural Resources Stakeholder Dialogue on the management and utilization of our natural resources. This university, without a shred of doubt, is on the right track with these engagements, and we salute you for that. This dialogue is unique, for among others, it mainstreams the role of academia in small-scale mining regulation, as well as issues of human rights. According to the International Institute for Environment and Development, unstable relations between small-scale miners and higher educational and scientific institutions, as well as a disconnect between government initiatives and educational institutions, are some of the factors militating against efforts at fighting illegal mining. This dialogue, which has academia at the fulcrum, is therefore very timely and consequential. We must intensify research to support government's efforts in this area. I must also highly commend the university for introducing several novel programs aimed at promoting sustainable mining and environmental protection, including bachelor and graduate programs in sustainable mining, urban mining, development minerals mining, land degradation neutrality, and sustainable land management. The university should be saluted and commended. We acknowledge the importance of research and development to everything we do. That is why government, through the Minerals Development Fund, continues to support institutions of higher education in mining-related research, including the construction of an ultra-modern multi-purpose geology laboratory for the Faculty of Earth Sciences at the University of Ghana, and several other projects at George Grant University of Mines and Technology, Takwa. Mr. Chairman, my friends, fellow students, the University of Energy and Natural Resources will get its fair share in due course. I promise you. I am happy that this year you are bringing to the fore matters of human rights in the small-scale mining sector. Since the issues of business and human rights took center stage a little over 2 decades ago, most transnational and multinational companies have been making strenuous efforts to incorporate human rights in their business models. Today, most investors consider such human rights policies before investing in these companies. But this has not been the case for small-scale mining companies. And yet, we know that small-scale mining impacts a number of human rights, including the rights to life, health, safe environment, water, property, and indeed, development. I am confident that the experts gathered here today will delve into these matters and come out with their proposals for dealing with this issue. Chairman, Vice Chancellor, Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the small-scale mining sector is an important sector to our national economy. That is not in doubt. We can and we must do it right. That is the conundrum. This requires a collaborative effort and all-hands-on-deck approach. Research and innovation are very crucial to promote sustainable resources extraction practices and transforming mine lands into viable lands for agricultural purposes. Institutions of higher learning, like this university, are therefore indispensable in our quest to regulate this sector. We must intensify education on responsible and sustainable mining practices. Government will continue to do its part. That is given, but we require the support and commitment of all of us to achieve the desired results. We must eschew the politicization of this sector. This must be a national call. It cannot be an NDC call. It certainly cannot be an MPP call. It must be a Ghana call. Let me, once again, commend the relatively young but reputable University of Energy and Natural Resources for creating this platform for such an engagement. I am convinced that if we pull our efforts together, we can deliver a sustainable, responsible, and environmentally sound small-scale mining sector that respects the rights of all actors while contributing meaningfully to our national economy for prosperity. It is my hope that arising out of this dialogue, we will be giving practical solutions and a renewed commitment for sustainable small-scale mining. Mr. Chairman, in conclusion, let me assure this university and the country that the President of our Republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is fully committed to this fight. And indeed, his modest minister, my good self, and the ministry, working through the Minerals Commission, will be totally committed as well. And we shall deploy all the necessary measures to ensure that we come to grips with this age-old canker of illegal small-scale mining, otherwise referred to as galamsey. Our commitment is sacred and unflinching. On this note, Mr. Chairman, Vice Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, I have the singular honor to declare this year's Transformational Dialogue on Small-Scale Mining under the theme, quote, Sustaining Environmental Security and Human Rights in Small-Scale Mining Operations in Ghana, duly opened. I wish you a fruitful discussions and look forward to the outcome of your dialogue. I thank you for your attention.